Good morning, students. I am Dr. Mary Benny. This module is a continuation of what we have learned in the previous module. Here also we will discuss the learning objectives of defects of eye. Why do we study that? What is the benefit of it? And what are the key vocabularies? Before we get into the details of the defects of eye, we will have a small revision about what we have been learning all these days. We studied the structure of eye, function of each part of eye. Now you know organization and coordination of various parts of human eye to get the sharp image of objects we view on our retina. Function of lens is very important in human eye. This is possible due to the power of accommodation of human lens. So, what is power of accommodation of human lens? The eye adjusts to various object distances by changing the focal length of the lens. So, the process of focusing the lens at different distances is called accommodation. The ability of human lens of adjusting the focal length is known as power of accommodation. I repeat, these two terms are very important. The eye adjusts to various object distances by changing the focal length of the lens. So, the process of focusing the eye at different distances is called accommodation, or the ability of the lens of adjusting focal length is known as power of accommodation. The vision is depending on the power of accommodation of human lens. How is it brought about? This is brought about by a change in the curvature of the elastic human lens, making it thinner or fatter. That is, when the lens being elastic changes its curvature, its bending, the focal length changes, the lens sometimes becomes thinner or it becomes fatter. Some people cannot see the objects clearly due to this loss of power of accommodation of the eye. The reason for this may differ from person to person. Let us enlist all the possible causes for this. It can be due to weakening of ciliary muscles, change in the size of eyeball, irregularities on the surface of the cornea, formation of membrane over the eye lens, etc. Because of the refractive defects of eye, the vision becomes blurred, faint and fuzzy. Means these are the refractive defects, how the incident rays that fall on the cornea which gets into the lens is refracted. Any change in refraction from the normal human eye, then you call it as a defect of refraction. The result is that you get a blurred, faint and fuzzy image. The three common refractive defects are myopia, which is otherwise known as nearsightedness. That means you can see the nearby objects clearly, very clearly, but the far off objects appear to you indistinct, or the far off objects are not seen clearly. The second refractive defect of the eye is hypermetropia, also known as farsightedness. As the name implies, those who suffer from this defect can see the distant objects clearly. Far off objects are seen very clearly, but cannot see the nearby objects distinctly. The third refractive defect of human eye is presbyopia. Here, the focusing power of the eye lens decreases with age, leading to multiple difficulties in vision. We will also learn what is astigmatism today. You all have seen people of all ages wearing spectacles. We will get acquainted with the various types of lenses used in spectacles. You must have experienced a continuity on the TV screen or in a theatre screen while watching a movie or television programs. This is due to persistence of vision. Hence, let us also learn today how does the human eye attain the persistence of vision. What is persistence of vision? By meaning the continuation of vision. Besides this, the object around us we see in the same size and color as the object possesses. Human eye helps us to perceive the color as it is. So what are the reasons for it, or what helps us to see an object as it is by size and color also will be learnt today. Myopia is otherwise nearsightedness. What does the name means? That you can see the nearby objects clearly but not the distant objects. As the name implies, the person gets a sharp image of the nearby object on the retina, but the far off object or the distant objects appear blurred. Unable to cast a clear image of the distant objects on the retina, so the far off point of the eye is not at infinity, but it shifts towards the eye, closer to the eye. Here see the far off point of the eye is at infinity, but what actually happens, that is shifted closer to the eye. When we see an object at very far distance, incident rays coming from there gets into the eye. Human eye is a double convex lens. It converges after the refraction and the refracted rays meet here, which is not the retina. To get a clear image, we need the convergent point on the retina. So in case of myopic eye, this is not happening, and that is the reason for not getting a clear image of the far off objects that we view. Let us discuss what are the possible reasons for this. The ciliary muscles do not relax sufficiently. The converging power of the eye lens become high. That means the refracted ray travel less, as in this case the refracted ray travel less and they meet before they reach the retina. The curvature of the cornea and the eye lens, the bending of the cornea and the eye lens changes or increases. The eyeball sometimes elongates. So, the distance between the eye lens and the retina increases. So, what is the effect of this? The image of the distant object is formed in front of the retina. So, all the reasons that we discussed, or few reasons, could be the cause for having this situation. I repeat, the ciliary muscles do not react sufficiently. The converging power of the eye lens become high. The curvature of the cornea and the eye lens increases. The muscles near the lens is not relaxed. the eyeball elongates, thereby the distance between the lens and the retina increases. So all these points you should remember as the cause for myopic eye. How can this defect be corrected? A suitable concave lens can correct this defect. What is a concave lens? It's a diverging lens. When the incident ray from the object passes through this concave lens, that is, object at infinity, parallel rays coming in, you are wearing a spectacle having concave lens. Concave lens by nature is diverging. So the incident ray that gets into the concave lens after refraction diverges. Then the diverged rays get into the human lens. And what is a human lens? It is a double convex lens which will after refraction converge at the retina, and the image is formed at the retina. So if the image is formed at the retina, you get a sharp image. So the concave lens is diverging lens. When the incident ray from the object passes through the spectacles having concave lens, the rays are diverged before they strike the human eye. These diverged rays are then converged by the eye lens after refraction. Children, remember our eye lens is double convex, hence the refracted rays are converged. Ophthalmologists choose the power of the concave lens or the power of your spectacle in such a way that it creates required divergence, and hence after the converging action of the eye lens, the sharp image is formed on the retina. The focal length of the lens or of the concave lens is negative. So the power of the spectacle of myopic eye is also negative. You must have heard people saying my power is negative, my power is positive in spectacles. So this is the reason the focal length of concave lens is negative. Therefore, the power of the lens is also negative. What do you mean by the power of the lens? It is nothing but the degree of convergence or divergence of a lens. Mathematically, we represent the power as the reciprocal of focal length expressed in meters. That is, power P is equal to 1 upon F in meters. And the unit of power of the lens is diopter. The symbol is capital D. So depending on the degree of defect, the power of concave lens is different for different people. Hypermetropia or long-sightedness. People suffering from hypermetropia can see the distant objects distinctly. They are unable to see nearby objects clearly. These people have long-sightedness. In this case, the near point of the eye is no longer 25. We have already studied that if you keep a notebook in front of you at a distance of 25 centimeter, you can read the text without any stress. This is the case of a normal human eye. So, the distance of least distinct vision is 25 centimeter. But in case of hypermetropia, the near point of the eye is no longer 25 centimeter. It shifts further away. See, in this case, you see, instead of 25 centimeter, this picture shows you that it is shifted far from the eye. That means it is more than 25 centimeter. What are the causes for this? It could be the weak action of ciliary muscles, the low converging power of the eye lens, that is, the convergence of cornea and the eye lens decreases. Also, the eyeball sometimes shortens or the lens flattens, and thereby the distance between the eye lens and the retina decreases. Here, the focal length of the eye lens is more or large, you can say. We will come back to the slides over here. The very first picture shows you the point object is at 25 centimeter away from our eye, and the convergence is not happening for the refracted ray at the retina. It over here, before convergence, we get a blurred image. The convergence is behind the retina. For hypermetropia eye, the image of the object lying at normal near point, which is 25 centimeter, is therefore formed behind the retina. Now, the object at the near point of hypermetropia. How is it here? Actual near point for the eye is this, which is more than 25 centimeter. It is shifted backward. And if the object is here, then the incident ray from that object enter into the double convex human lens and converges exactly at the retina. So this has to be made possible. How do we make it possible? By use of another lens. In hypermetropia, the spectacle used will have a double convex lens. Why so? The image, the rays are coming from N dash or from this particular point behind the actual near point, which is 25 centimeter. The incident rays start from there. First, it gets into the spectacle lens, and the spectacle has a convex lens. It is converged a bit. After the convergence, the refracted ray gets into the human eye, another double convex. So, the human lens get the rays which are already converged a bit. From the lens, after refraction, the refracted ray again converge, but that point of convergence is on the retina. Therefore, the purpose over here is that incident rays coming from a nearby object in case of a hypermetropic eye needs to be converged a bit before it enters the human eye. Hence, the ophthalmologist use a convex lens where at the spectacle surface the incident rays are converged a bit, allowed to get into the human eye. The human eye, another double convex lens, converges it further in such a way that the point of convergence is on the retina, and this enables us to see a very clear image. Therefore, we can summarize it as, in case of correction, the defects can be corrected using a convex lens of proper focal length. The convex lens in the spectacle converges the incident rays from nearby objects. Then the refracted rays enter the human eye lens, which is another convex lens. These rays are further converged to form the image on the retina. Depending upon the degree of defect in the eye, power of convex lens is different for different eye. What is the power of the convex lens? We already discussed that the power is the reciprocal of focal length in meters. The focal length of convex lens is positive. So, the power of convex lens is also positive. presbyopia. Now on the screen you see three figures. One is of the normal eye, second one for presbyopia, and third is the correction adopted. When the sharp image is formed on the retina of a normal human eye, in presbyopic eye, the refracted converged rays are formed behind the retina. I repeat, when the sharp image is formed on the retina for a normal human eye, in presbyopic eye, the image is formed behind the retina, or the refracted rays are converged behind the retina. So what do you get on the retina is not converged. The refracted rays are not converged over there. Therefore, we get a blurred image. So the image formed on the retina will be faint or fuzzy or blurred. How does this happen? What are the causes? Presbyopia is otherwise known as old age hypermetropia. The power of accommodation of the eye usually decreases with age. See, the lens hardened with age, and then it's unable to change the shape of the lens. That means the power of accommodation is not good enough to converge the refracted rays onto the retina. As ciliary muscles lose the capacity to change the focal length of the lens, the aged people experience presbyopia. Sometimes they suffer from both, that is myopia and hypermetropia. What is a correction? Such people will have two lenses on the spectacle, that is, one is concave lens and the other is convex lens. That is known as bifocal lens. Such people require bifocal lens. The near point vision is corrected by convex lens. So here in this case of presbyopia, we are using a convex lens. The rays coming from the near point is converged a bit. That converged rays get into the human eye. They travel less now and they can converge on the retina to get us a clear image. But when they suffer from myopia too, how can they regain vision of both near and far objects? See the spectacle on the screen. For distance, that is myopia, you can't see the far off images clearly. Then the bifocal lens will have at this region a concave lens. So concave lens is used for distant vision, far off vision. Nearby objects also is not clear to them. Reading becomes difficult. Now how that is corrected? So for nearby objects like reading, a convex lens is used. So how many types of lenses are there on one spectacle? That is for distance correction and for reading correction. Distance correction is done by a concave lens, and convex lens help to read the nearby objects properly or see the nearby objects properly. Therefore, presbyopia is an accommodative dysfunction. The lens fails to accommodate itself or change its focal length due to various reasons. So you know it happens due to the decrease in flexibility of the eye lens. It results in the formation of blurred image. A bifocal lens constituting of concave lens and convex lens rectifies the myopia and hypermetropia. So, to summarize, presbyopia is an accommodative dysfunction. It is due to the decrease in flexibility of eye lens. This leads to creation of blurred image on retina, corrected by a bifocal lens which constitutes concave lens and convex lens. Therefore, concave lens corrects myopia and convex lens correct hypermetropia. On the screen, you see different types of lenses. These are the different correction lenses, and it's not discussed in your textbook. We are learning this just for a better understanding. When you go to the ophthalmologist or for buying spectacles, you come across different types of lenses, and it's better to have an idea what does each meant for. See over here, the first one is single vision lens. Means you cannot see the far off objects or the nearby objects, either of one. Then you will have only one. You suffer from one defect, the spectacle will have only concave lens or only convex lens, depending upon the refractive defect. When do we use bifocal? You suffer from two defects. You find it difficult to see the distance object, and you find it difficult to read the nearby matter. Therefore, such lenses will be like this. The upper part is concave to help you to rectify your mistake of seeing far off object, and for reading they use a convex lens. So this part will be like that. So clearly you can get two types of lenses over there. The technology has improved a lot. Therefore, the lens position is changed like this in case of progressive lens. That is, the hyphen or the dotted lines that you see here. This region at the center will be for reading, and the other part is for distance. That is, this part will be concave and the central part here will be concave. This will also be concave and this will also be concave. So you will get it like this. You don't realize it looks like a single lens as you see in this case. In certain cases, you also see a plain glass here, distance concave on the top and convex at the bottom. Astigmatism is a refractive error. It occurs due to irregularly shaped cornea. This leads to error in refraction. Now you know what is cornea. See the cornea here. This is not smooth. There is some irregularities here at the surface. Thereby, the refraction nature also changes. In case of a normal eye, this is smooth, clear surface. So the refraction occurs properly and focuses on the retina. You get a clear image. When it comes to astigmatism, the astigmatic cornea is not smooth. Some kind of irregularities is there. The surface is not regular, we can say. Therefore, the refraction has some defect. It converges, the refracted ray converges in front of the retina or behind the retina, not on the retina. It distorts the focal point of the light in front of and or behind the cornea. This leads to blurred vision and can be corrected with eyeglasses, contact lenses or refractive surgery. So what is astigmatism? It is a refractive error. It is not a disease. It is not due to any health problems. It is simply a problem with how the eye focuses the light, and mainly due to the irregularity on the surface of cornea. The light fails to come to a single focus point on the retina to give us a clear image. See here, you can see either here or behind. Vision to be blurred or distorted and is caused by the irregularly shaped cornea. We can correct it by using appropriate eyeglasses, contact lenses, or and after undergoing a refractive surgery, you regain the normal vision. Children, observe the screen and see what is happening. The illustration on the screen shows you that the lady has a card in her hand having a spider on one side and the web on the other side. On flipping the card fast, it appears to us as the spider is in the web. The next card has its final first side, a boy standing. On the second side of that card, we see the picture of the same boy with his arms and legs stretched out. Flipping the card very fast, we get the perception of a boy doing the exercise. This is an application of persistence of vision. Now let us explain how it happens. You know by now that we see an object because the eye lens creates the object's image on the retina. The image is on the retina as long as the object is in front of us. The image is on the retina as long as the object is seen to us. The image disappears as soon as the object is taken away. However, this is not instantaneous. The image remains imprinted on our retina for about 1/16th of a second after the object is removed. So the object goes away from our sight, but still we have the image of that object on our retina. The sensation on retina persists for a while. This is called persistence of vision, or in short, we can say the continuance of vision. Here on the slide, we discuss perception of color. That means how do we see the different colors. You can see the human eye structure, which we have already studied in detail, and on the retina we have rod cells and cone cells responsible for the perception of colors. That is, the light receptors within the eye transmit messages to the brain, which produces familiar sensations of color. The Newton observed that the color is not inherent in objects. Rather, the surface of an object reflects some colors, absorbs all other colors, and we perceive only the reflected colors. Means if there is an apple, the red color is reflected from it and we see the red color. All other colors the apple absorbs. That is, light is made up of different colors, of which the red color is reflected and all other colors are absorbed by apple. So we feel that apple is red in color, or we see the red color of apple. When light hits an object, say banana, the object absorbs some of the light and reflects the rest of it. See over here, you can see the banana. The light falls on it. What does banana do? The white light is falling on it, but only the yellow color is reflected from it and all other colors are absorbed. Then, when you look at banana, the wavelength of the reflected light determine the color you see. See, the wavelength is marked over here, in nanometers. You can clearly see from 400 nanometers to more than 700 nanometers. The light waves reflects off the banana peel and hit the light sensitive retina at the back of our eye. So here comes the light, the yellow light comes here, that is refracted through the lens and it's going and hitting the retina at the back of your eye. Remember, yellow is the most visible color of all the colors. It is the first color that human eye notices. For daytime, the most visible wavelength is about 555, see over here, almost 555 nanometer, which lies between green and yellow. At night time, the most visible wavelength is about 505 nanometer, look at the pointer, almost over here, which most people see as a halfway between green and blue-green light. In case of black, we can see the black color. It absorbs all the light rather than reflect it back to the eye. Which are the forbidden colors? These are all just general knowledge. Which are the forbidden colors? Red-green pair and yellow-blue pair. These are called forbidden colors. The light frequencies of these colors automatically cancel each other. They are supposed to be impossible to see simultaneously. We can see it separately, but simultaneously you can't see red and green or yellow and blue. It's better that we know that how many colors human eye can distinguish. You know, that's about 10 million different colors, that is a combined colors you can distinguish. And which is the most harmful color to the eye? Blue light. Blue light poses the risk of macular degeneration. It penetrates to the retina, so too much of blue light damages the light sensitive cells on retina. We made a detailed description about perception of color. I hope you understood. See you in the next module. Thank you.